Pepee wakes up to the sound of birds chirping outside his window. Sunbeams peek through the curtains, filling his room with a warm, golden glow. He stretches his arms high above his head and yawns. It's going to be an awesome day, full of adventure. Pepee jumps out of bed and pulls on his favorite red t-shirt. He's eager to start the day and runs downstairs. In the kitchen, he finds his mother making breakfast. "Good morning, Pepee," his mother says, placing a plate of pancakes on the table. "Good morning, Mom," Pepee replies, his eyes sparkling with excitement. "What are we going to do today?" Pepee loves spending time with his mother, but he's also a very curious and adventurous little boy. He can't wait to see what exciting things the day holds for them. After breakfast, Pepee decides to go for a walk in the forest. It's his favorite place to explore, filled with all sorts of interesting creatures and plants. As he's walking along the path, he hears a faint sob coming from behind a bush. Pepee cautiously approaches the bush and peeks through the leaves. There, sitting on the ground, he sees his friend Ace. Her face is buried in her hands, and her shoulders are shaking with sobs. "Ace, what's wrong?" Pepee asks, his voice full of concern. Ace lifts her head, her eyes red and swollen. "I lost something," she sniffs, "and I can't find it." Pepee sits down beside her and puts a comforting arm around her shoulder. "Don't worry, Ace," he says. "I'll help you find it. What did you lose?" Ace wipes her eyes with the back of her hand and takes a deep breath. "It was my favorite toy boat," she explains. "I was playing with it by the river and I think it fell in the water." Pepee listens patiently as Ace describes her toy boat. It's small and made of wood, with a bright red sail and a blue hull. They made it together with her grandfather, and it's very special to her. "We'll find your boat, Asa," Pepee reassures her. "Come on, let's go to the river." Together, Pepee and Ace retrace Ace's steps back to the riverbank. They search amongst the tall grass and under the trees, but the toy boat is nowhere to be found. "I don't see it anywhere," Ace says, her voice trembling with disappointment. "Maybe it's gone forever." Pepee takes Ace's hand and gives it a reassuring squeeze. "Don't give up hope yet, Ace," he says. "We just need to think like a river." Pepee knows that rivers flow downstream, carrying things along with them. If the toy boat fell into the river, it's probably floating somewhere along the current. A river runs through it. Pepee and Ace follow the riverbank, their eyes scanning the water for any sign of the missing toy boat. It seems like they've been walking for hours, but the boat is still missing. As they round a bend in the river, they come across a group of ducks swimming and playing in the water. Pepee has an idea. "Excuse me, ducks," Pepee says politely. "Have you seen a small wooden toy boat with a red sail and a blue hull floating down the river?" The ducks quack amongst themselves for a moment, as if discussing what Pepee has said. Then one of the ducks points its beak downstream. "Thank you," Pepee exclaims. He turns to Ace, a hopeful smile on his face. "Come on, Ace, this way." With renewed energy and the duck's clue to guide them, Pepee and Ace continue to follow the river. They know they're getting closer to finding the lost toy boat. As they walk, Pepee notices a small, shallow offshoot of the main river. The current in this offshoot is much slower, and leaves and twigs have gotten caught amongst the reeds along the edge. "Look, eyes!" Pepee exclaims, pointing to the offshoot. "The boat might be stuck in there." Carefully, Pepee and Ace make their way to the edge of the offshoot. Pepee bends down and parts the reeds with his hands, and there, caught amongst the leaves and twigs, is Ace's toy boat. "My boat!" Ace shouts with joy, but the boat is just out of reach. Pepee stretches his arm out further, but he can't quite grab it. "Don't worry, Ace," Pepee says. "I have an idea." Pepee picks up a long stick from the ground and hands it to Ace. "Here," he says. "Use this to pull the boat closer." Ace takes the stick from Pepee and carefully maneuvers it towards the boat. Using the end of the stick, she gently nudges the boat, gradually guiding it closer to the edge of the offshoot. Finally, the boat is within reach. Ace leans forward and scoops it up in her hands. "I got it!" she cries, her face beaming with happiness. Thank you, Pepee. I couldn't have done it without you. Ace gives Pepee a big hug. She's so relieved and grateful to have her special toy boat back safe and sound. Pepee hugs Ace back, happy to have helped his friend. They both learned a valuable lesson today about the importance of teamwork and never giving up hope. As the sun begins to set, Pepee and Ace walk home hand in hand. Acey clutches her toy boat tightly, grateful that it's back safe and sound. Pepee, Ace says, I learned something important today. What's that, Ace? Pepee asks. I learned that even when we face challenges, we should never give up hope, Ace explains, and that overcoming obstacles is always easier when we work together with our friends. Pepee nods in agreement. You're right, Ace. And I learned that even ducks can be helpful sometimes. Pepee and Ace laugh as they continue their walk home, their hearts full of gratitude and the warmth of friendship. Don't forget to like our story and subscribe to my channel for more. See you next time.